Our founding fathers, Kwame Nkrumah and Kenneth Kaunda, dreamed boldly of an Africa that stood united, confident, and free to chart its own course. They believed that borders should never divide African brothers and sisters, and that solidarity must be lived, not merely declared. Tonight, I feel strongly that we're honoring that legacy these two great men left. The agreements we signed today, especially the decision to allow visa-free travel between our two countries, are more than diplomatic instruments. They are statements of trust, and they say to our people, you belong with one another. Our cooperation in health, education, air transport, defense, and other areas reflect our shared commitment to finding African solutions to African challenges. I was also deeply honored to address the National Assembly of Zambia earlier today, and I wish to thank the Right Honorable Speaker for your warm welcome. Standing in that chamber, I was reminded that democracy on our continent has been nurtured through sacrifice and resilience. Though separated by geography, Ghana and Zambia are closely bound by the same values and aspirations. Last night, I met with the members of the Ghanaian community living here in Zambia. They spoke warmly of the hospitality they enjoy and the respect they are shown. On their behalf and on behalf of the people of Ghana, I wish to thank you, Mr. President, and the people of Zambia for making them feel not like strangers, but like neighbors. My brother President, tonight's banquet is not only a celebration of what we've achieved during this visit, but also a reaffirmation of the friendship, trust, and shared purpose that we have. It reminds us that Africa's future will be shaped not just by treaties and institutions, but also by relationships that are grounded in mutual respect and shared beliefs. I leave Zambia encouraged by the outcomes of this visit. Yes, but even more by the spirit in which this visit has been conducted. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'll invite you to rise and please join me in drinking a toast to the good health of my brother, the President. Indeed, in our discussion, first in the tete-a-tete I had with President, my brother, it was so striking, the similarities in the trajectory that our countries are traveling, especially at this particular time. As he said, our founding fathers fought for independence, and our countries have spent several decades with mixed results. But we've come to a defining moment where Ghana and Zambia seem to be twins of the same mother, going through the same economic and financial challenges, having the same structure of the economy, mining playing a very important part in terms of value to our gross domestic product. And so, talking, we realized that we both face the same challenges. And when we went into the bilateral meeting, it was very obvious that we both were thinking along the same wavelength. And so we got so engrossed in the bilaterals that we actually went long beyond the time we had awarded to hold the bilaterals. And it was a very fruitful time. We shared best practices. There are some things that you're doing very well that we can learn from, and there are some things that Ghana is doing very well that Zambia can learn from. And so we explored all those areas. And indeed, between my brother, His Excellency, and myself, we agreed that notwithstanding the continental alliances that exist, we must underpin those continental alliances by forging stronger bilateral relationships between our two countries. And so we propose to have an enhanced economic development cooperation partnership agreement that will be higher than just the permanent joint commission for cooperation. And so we have actioned that immediately, and indeed we agreed to take some immediate steps as soon as I get back to Ghana. And I can assure you, Your Excellency, that I will act as expeditiously as I can on the issues that we discussed. From the moment I arrived in Lusaka, I have felt genuinely at home. The warmth of your welcome at the airport, the ease of our conversations, and the generosity extended to my delegation remind me why Ghana and Zambia share a bond that goes far beyond diplomacy. This is not a relationship of convenience. It is a relationship of history, shared struggle, and a deep belief in Africa's destiny. Permit me to share a small personal moment. Early today, during our discussions, my brother, the President, and I briefly stepped away from the formal agenda. We spoke quite simply about leadership, about the weight of expectations of our people, and about the responsibility we carry to leave our countries better than we came to meet them. It was an honest conversation between two African leaders who understand that leadership is not about power, but it's about service. That moment for me captured the true spirit of this visit, and I thank you, my brother, for inviting me.
So to say. So I'm talking about the bond between Ghanaians and Zambians. Yes, government to government, but also people to people. Families, very important. We trust all of those issues. But more importantly, today we spend time to look at the MOUs we've signed before, my visit to Ghana in 2023, and then put that together with what we have been able to execute today. But focusing on, yes, solidifying our history, our relationship, but anchoring that, knowing that without a strong economic bondage, economic relationship, investment, trade, we would be basically having a relationship that cannot be easily oiled, that cannot be supported, because it's a financial, economic success that will support these other aspects of our relationship. And I'm very pleased to say to the gathering today that really my brother and I spent quite some time together, just the two of us. We wanted to talk first, just the two of us. And as we were talking, he was talking, I was listening to him. I was saying, well, but that's our hymn sheet. How come he's talking and singing our hymn? And obviously, what's the message here? Ghana's reforms, economic focus, debt issues, how they came out of the debt, how we did it ourselves, not completely out of it, restructuring our debts, very similar parts. And we now are saying we want to do more. Ghana and Zambia must do more, intentionally, deliberately. And those will be the critical building blocks. Yes, Ghana-Zambia relationship, other countries, bilateral relationships, our economic, if you like, groupings, SADC for us, ECOWAS for Ghana, East African Community, North African Community, critical building blocks towards the Africa Free Trade Area. And we're very, very happy, and Zambians, I would like us to acknowledge the fact that Ghana is host to the Secretariat of the Africa Free Trade Area. Let's congratulate Ghana for that major achievement. And Zambia fully supports Ghana. And we want to see Ghana succeed in helping us walk through on the continent towards what's been missing for too many years or too long. What is that? Africa does the least trade with itself. It's criminal. It is taboo. It's unacceptable. You look at the size collectively of the African economy, if I may call it that. But look at what we do with each other. Very, very little. And so, the President and I agree that we should stop complaining. We should take the leadership, leading our countries, leading our regional blocs, leading our continent into a different structure, one which understands the opportunities that exist within our continent and exploit those opportunities on our continent. Do more with each other, invest together, trade from one country to another, one region to another, and I think then we will be answering what I may call a vexation, which vexation really has been unnecessary for too long. Give opportunities to our youthful populations. Education. Again, we share a lot, Ghana and Zambia. We shared numbers, what we've all been able to achieve. Both of us have been able to achieve. We do believe that other countries on the continent will be looking at Ghana and Zambia carefully, and maybe one or two things. Not that we're the best, don't misunderstand, but we learn from each other. No need to reinvent the wheel. We looked at the mining space, what Ghana has been doing in the gold sector. And we explained to the president that God has favored us with gold, which we actually never defined ourselves as a gold holding country, asset holding country. We defined ourselves as copper, cobalt, nickel, manganese, and later lithium, nickel. Yes, but gold is there in our country. And we're having challenges on managing the sector properly here. And Ghanaians have been at it for longer. And today we were able to share experiences. Yes, in the early days of our presidency, I sent this Minister of Mines to Ghana. But today we're able to pull the story together in a much better way, looking at the large sector, large players in the gold sector, small, medium, artisanal. Most of you know the issues we have around artisanals. Ghana has gone through that process. And why should we invest more resources through investing in a discovery process on how to solve those problems? Ghana has found largely, by and large, better than us because of the many years of mining gold solutions. And so we're happy to work with them in that space. The things that Ghana can pick from us, but collectively we think we'll be better countries, better economies by collaborating. I wanted to tell that story a little bit, that today's bilaterals went extremely well. And it's so easy to work with the Ghanaians. It's like we're working together every other day. It's just something between us two that makes it so easy to work together. And these two presidents want to make sure that we exploit that opportunity, that, if I may call it, leverage. So, and we're going to do that. And the President will talk, because I want to honor him, he's our guest, to talk a little bit more on some of our plans on how we want to encapsulate that. And so that it's not always because two presidents are meeting like this in Accra or in Lusaka, but our own ministers, our own technical people, our own business people get to do the job as a mundane thing that they're required to do. So, Mr. President, we want to honor you to raise those issues, be more specific as much as you wish tonight, because Zambians are ready to listen to you. And he did very well in Parliament this afternoon. I was watching him in Parliament. May we clap for the President? I was very impressed with how he buttressed what he was going to say. He reminded the MPs that he's been in Parliament for a long time. He was a parliamentarian for a long time. And he comes from a democracy. And he's okay if people want to heckle him, heck. And of course, he preempted them. Very smart president. So anyway, Mr. President, thank you very much. And I could see that our parliamentarians were very happy about
Thank you, Africa. Mama Africa.